The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King is a 2003 epic fantasy adventure film directed by Peter Jackson from a screenplay by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Jackson, based on 1955's The Return of the King, the third volume of the novel The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. The sequel to 2002's The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, the film is the final installment in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Hobbit, Smeagol, is fishing with his cousin Deagol, who finds the One Ring in the stream. Smeagol kills his cousin because the ring has ensnared his mind. He retreats into the Misty Mountains, where he takes on the name Gollum, his mental and physical condition becoming increasingly corrupt. Gandalf takes Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and King Theoden of Rohan to Isengard during the War of the Ring, where they reunite with Merry and Pippin. Gandalf recovers Saruman's Palantir, and the gathering gets back to Edoras to praise their triumph at Styrage's Deep. Pippin investigates the Palantir, seeing Sauron and a consuming tree. Gandalf concludes that the adversary intends to strike Minas Tirith, the capital of Gondor. He rides there to alert Denethor, the steward of Gondor. Pippin, who is with him, makes a vow of loyalty to Denethor, whose now dead heir Boromir had saved his life. Wink with a frown. On Gandalf's orders, he sets off the beacons, which signal Rohan for assistance. Sam and Frodo, who are carrying the ring, continue their journey toward Mordor without realizing that their current guide, Gollum, has plans to betray them and steal the ring for himself. The three of them witness the orc army of the Witch King of Angmar, Lord of the Nine Nazgul, departing for Gondor. Sam is framed by Gollum for consuming food supplies and wanting the ring. Frodo, influenced by the ring's growing power, orders Sam to return home after being deceived. Frodo was then coerced into entering the Shelob-sized spider's den by Gollum. Frodo fights Gollum, who fights back and falls down a chasm after narrowly escaping. Shelob finds, deadens, and ties Frodo, however is injured and driven away by a returning Sam, who, grieving Frodo's obvious passing, takes the ring. When a group of orcs kidnaps Frodo, Sam realizes he made a mistake. However, he is able to free Frodo during a fight between the orcs. The hobbits move on to Mount Doom, their final destination, once inside Mordor. Elrond informs Aragorn that Arwen is dying because she refused to leave Middle-earth as King Theoden gathers his army. Aragorn receives Andril, a reforged sword made from the shards of King Elendil's sword Narsil, and Elrond urges him to claim Gondor's throne, which he is heir to. Aragorn travels the paths of the dead with Legolas and Gimli and promises to free the ghosts there from their curse if they help Gondor. In the meantime, Faramir, who was prior wrecked and driven back to Minas Tirith by the witch ruler, is seriously injured in a self-destruction charge. Denethor goes insane because he thinks his son is dead. Despite Gandalf's efforts to organize the defenses, a massive orc army storms into the city. Pippin alerts Gandalf, who saves Faramir after Denethor tries to burn himself and Faramir on a pyre. Denethor jumps to his death after being set ablaze and suffering. The orcs are defeated when Theoden's army arrives. In spite of their initial victory over orcs in the subsequent battle, they are wiped out by the Olipont riding Haradrim, and Theoden is killed by the Witch King, but Merry helps his niece Eowyn kill the Witch King. Theoden dies in the arms of his niece. After that, Aragorn and his army of the dead arrive, defeating Sauron's forces and winning the battle. The dead are freed from their curse because their oath was fulfilled. To distract Sauron from Sam and Frodo, who are now extremely weak, Aragorn decides to march on Mordor. The hobbits are able to reach Mount Doom because Aragorn's detour allows all of Sauron's remaining forces to march to meet him. Frodo makes it into the mountain despite Gollum's attack, who was able to survive his previous fall. Gollum is successful in biting off his finger and reclaiming it after he succumbs to the ring's power there. Both of them struggle and fall off the ledge. When Sam's unwavering faith and belief in his friend convinces him to make one final reach for Sam's hand, saving Frodo's life, Frodo clings to it with one hand as regret and guilt flood his mind after succumbing to the ring. Gollum goes down and dies, The ring, which went down with him, breaks apart in the lava, causing Barad-dûr to fall apart as the Eye of Sauron bursts open, ending the evil lord's reign for good. Frodo and Sam narrowly escape Mount Doom's erupting lava as Aragorn's army triumphs over its foes and the lands of Mordor sink into the earth. With the assistance of eagles, Gandalf saves the hobbits, and the fellowship that survived is content to be reunited in Minas Tirith. Aragorn weds Arwen and becomes king of Gondor. Sam weds Rosie Cotton when the hobbits return to the Shire. Frodo, still traumatized, travels to the Undying Lands with his uncle Bilbo, Gandalf, and the elves a few years later. He leaves Sam the Red Book of Westmarch, which subtleties their experiences. Sam visits Rosie and their children when he returns to the Shire. The movie The Return of the King made $377,027,325 in the United States and Canada and $763,654,686 in other countries, giving it a worldwide gross of $1,140,682,011. Over the course of the weekend of February 20 to 22, 2004, it broke the $1 billion mark, making it the second film in history to do so, following Titanic. It holds the record as Time Warner's highest-grossing film worldwide for 8 years before it was surpassed by Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2 in 2011. Box Office Mojo estimates that the film had sold over 61 million tickets in the U.S. during its initial theatrical run. It is the highest-grossing film of 2003, the second highest-grossing film of the 2000s, the highest-grossing entry in The Lord of the Rings. The movie received 11 Academy Award nominations: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Song, Best Visual Effects, Best Art Direction, Best Makeup, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Film Editing. It was the first fantasy film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture at the 76th Academy Awards in 2004. The film won all of the categories for which it had been nominated. Along with Titanic and Ben-Hur, it holds the record for the highest total of Academy Awards and the highest clean sweep at the Oscars, surpassing Gigi and The Last Emperor's 9 awards. In addition, until the release of The Shape of Water in 2017, it was the last film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture without being ranked among the top 10 films of the year by the National Board of Review. The movie received 11 Academy Award nominations: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Original Song, Best Visual Effects, Best Art Direction, Best Makeup, Best Sound Mixing, and Best Film Editing. It was the first fantasy film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture at the 76th Academy Awards in 2004. The film won all of the categories for which it had been nominated. Along with Titanic and Ben-Hur, it holds the record for the highest total of Academy Awards and the highest clean sweep at the Oscars, surpassing Gigi and The Last Emperor's 9 awards. In addition, until the release of The Shape of Water in 2017, it was the last film to win the Academy Award for Best Picture without being ranked among the top 10 films of the year by the National Board of Review. The IMDb rating of the movie is 8.9 star out of 10 and ranked 7 among the World Bet 25 movie list. Thank you so much for watching our channel. Kindly subscribe, like and share it too. It will motivate us to do better.